Hello. The other day I maxed out Martha's artifact weapon. I maxed out her artifact weapon. Sorry, artifacts. We got to 130, which gives her armor 50,000. And this is, as I told you when I made that video, I was like, this is important. I was going to show you why, and that's because of the 150 boss. Right, like so. Let's see. Okay, nothing we want there. But again, sorry, the 160 boss. You want to use well, if you're using any team that you're using Martha for, which is going to be either Stone Cold or like if you happen to have like the core, if you're actually not a manual in the Cornelius build, which I'll probably have a video about someday, but I'd have to, I don't have the resources for another intelligence here right now. But when you are doing the, so wrong pet, when you're fighting Osh the Eternal Keeper though, usually use Martha as one of your heroes. And her armor buff actually matters quite a bit for doing damage. So what we're going to do is go run out Stone Cold here. And like I said, with her armor now maxed, it should do a lot more damage than it did last time I did this. Because this was last week. You know, I usually do about 80 to 140 million, depending on how good my run is. I mean, I think Mike said, I mean, I've had some that go over 150. It just really depends. But there's a bit of luck, though. But having a better armor buff should give us a lot more consistency. Because armor will reduce the meteor damage. Right, we always use Axel as well for Bubbles of Justice. Try to get this here. So now we have the 50,000 armor buff. Right, you can see they're actually, yeah, it's actually, they're taking less damage than they said, yeah. So they actually did take a lot less damage. We'll have to probably run it in slow-mo. Look at less damage, though. Look at that. Wow. Boom. Boom. Okay, we need to take auto off because we want to save Bubbles of Justice for the meteor showers. That's when you need it. We want to save our Martha buff for a meteor shower as well. Yeah, no, between Bubbles of Justice and armor buffs from Martha, that's how you survive the meteor showers. Yeah, there you go. A lot of times, like I said, Nebula especially is vulnerable to dying. She gets bad dodge rolls. The heck? Okay, it lagged for a second. Yeah, I think we have enough time to do another one on Martha. Because the next meteor shower should happen about 30, so... Okay, we're gonna get 100 million. Maybe I should have saved Martha. I think we'll be okay. She's gonna get her thing up in time. There you go, the speed buff plus the armor buff. The armor buff, though, is actually pretty important to survive meteor shower. Martha plus Bubbles of Justice. Could keep you quite a bit, do quite a bit to keep you alive. Look at 125 million. That's not bad. Like I said, with the higher armor buff, I should be able to get 100 million more consistently. Like a lot of weeks, like sometimes Nebula will die, sometimes Sebastian will die early on, and that'll hurt my damage. Instead of doing 100 million, I might end up doing like 60 or 70 million, which is still decent, but you want to get over 100 million to maximize your guild's damage, so you can beat the 160 boss every week, or sometimes twice a week. And Martha's armor buff is really important to that, and should be able to go into... we should be able to watch the replay, go into slow motion, and watch the damage difference here. So let's go to the replay. Damage dealt. Look at that. They decided to even top 3. Okay, so we're over here. I still have 2 more teams or 4 more teams even. So I'll speed this up a little for just a bit, and then we'll slow it down once we get to meteor shower time. Okay, this is really close. Okay. So you see the damage that's happening. Marth's getting hit for 21,825s. Da-da-da. Okay. Yeah, no, it's like all of a sudden. Looks like actually Martha might balance out the damage with that, but it's like these numbers though, look, they're significantly lower. We don't have to do this again just to see better numbers. That Bubbles Justice makes it a bit harder, but the numbers are a lot smaller across the board. Might be a bit harder to see. But we can definitely run this again just to get better baseline. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, it's like the damage numbers, like, it's go a lot smaller. Like, it's hard to see with the Bubbles of Justice because it's redirecting the damage. But I'll tell you, somebody runs this week after week. This was pretty significantly lower. Like, a lot of times Nebula will barely survive, or Sebastian. Like, there's a lot of weeks where Sebastian and Nebula just will bite the bullet and die. When they give, like, they just don't survive the meteor showers a lot of times. The armor buff, like, they survived with, not only did they survive with quite a bit of life on this. So, like, that's actually pretty good. Like, we can try to go through this one more time. Okay. Yeah, you see these 88s. Bubbles of Justice will start redirecting it. You're watching Nebula drop pretty fast. Yeah, no, it's like the damage done a lot lower. Just being able to mitigate with Bubbles of Justice a bit better. Yeah, it looks like Nebula might not have quite enough armor to benefit when Bubbles of Justice isn't up. But when Bubbles of Justice is up though, heroes like Martha for sure have enough armor to help mitigate. Like, because the Bubbles Justice helps spread the damage out, the damage assignments, which helps your whole team mitigate better. So having armor on like a high armor hero like Martha will help. Looks like Nebula might not quite have enough armor for that buff to make difference, but definitely made a difference on Martha. Because the moment her buff went up, she started taking a lot less damage, which is pretty important with Bubbles of Justice. Because she's taking a lot, because she had full health. A lot of times she'll be at full health, and she's trying to take the assign, trying to assign the damage to her to try to keep the rest of her team up. But yeah, no, so I was hoping to get a better look. I was hoping to get better to make it easier to see. It's not very easy to see in this, unfortunately, but that's why it's important to get Martha's artifact weapon up. Like, she's the second one I said she's probably, there might even be a case that Martha's more important than Isaac, but I did Isaac first because armor penetration is really important against Osh, but Martha's armor buff might also be just as important. So those are definitely the first two buffs you want to do on your Stone Cold heroes when you're doing artifacts. Still haven't done Sebastian. Still haven't done Nebula or Jew. Nebula would probably be the third one after Isaac and Martha, though. But you do want to just have said those armor buffs can matter a lot on Osh the Eternal Keeper. If only combined with Bubbles of Justice to keep your team alive. Anyway, not too much more to say on this. If you missed the video where I maxed out Martha's artifact weapon, you can find that below. And as always, thank you for watching.